Hi there and welcome to day 2 of the 4-part Break Free from Narcissistic Abuse video series. Today's video focuses on why you fell in love with a narcissist and how you heal once and for all from your old pattern of people-pleasing and forgetting that you matter. I'm Nariccisst. I'm a specialist narcissistic abuse recovery coach with 17 years experience working in this area as well as an award-winning author. I've been privileged to work with thousands of women and men worldwide and reached many thousands more through my blog and my Instagram account, which I've grown to over 90,000 followers. I'm also a woman who grew up in a narcissistic family, stayed married to a narcissistic husband for 20 years, and found it incredibly difficult to leave because my self-worth was at rock bottom. I had no sense of my own identity and felt my life was over anyway. I left when I could put a name on what I'd been through. That name was domestic abuse. And then I got mad because it wasn't just something that affected me, but something that affected roughly 1 woman in 4, and as I later found out, 1 man in 6. It's my mission to launch a membership, the Break Free membership, launching September 20th, that will help women navigate that journey as smoothly and freely as possible as part of a positive, supportive community. In today's video, we're going to be looking at why you fall in love with a narcissist in the first place and what it really says about you, where your people-pleasing tendencies come from, why it's so important to do the inner work and break free from the old habits of people-pleasing and appeasing, and what will happen if you don't work on it, and why now is the time to put yourself first. So let's start with the question, why did we fall in love with a narcissist in the first place? In all the years that I've worked in this field, none of the people I have ever spoken with has ever said to me, I was brought up by 2 loving, supportive parents who are always there for me and made me feel safe, lovable, and more than good enough. Every last one of us that I've ever spoken with came from a home where love, safety, and emotional availability were in short supply, but criticism, rejection, and fear were not. Since we had to explain it to ourselves and needed to love our parents, we told ourselves that it was our fault. We had to be unlovable, so it was our job to earn love. Most of we came to this conclusion at a very early age. Scroll forward and guess what happened? We met a narcissist who, like a shark scenting blood, recognized our deep emotional hunger. They made irresistible promises of love ever after, and we fell for them. How could we not? Those promises, if only they'd been true, would have more than compensated for all the emotional deprivation that we'd been through. When the relationship started to turn abusive, we took it. We were afraid to lose the little love we had ever known. Besides, growing up in the kind of homes in which we had grown up in, we did not know how to protect ourselves from bad people. We'd learned that you just have to bow your head, endure the storm, and wait for it to pass. We didn't attract a narcissist. But the narcissists in our life did teach us never, ever to protect ourselves from bad people. Instead, we were taught to make allowances for them. And where do you suppose that your people-pleasing tendencies come from? As I see it, there are 2 aspects that you need to consider. First, you were taught that you had to work hard to earn love, quite likely from your parents. And second, as a helpless, dependent child, you learnt that pleasing your parents was your best chance of keeping them sweet and making your life bearable. That was your best chance of trying to control their anger. How well did it ever work for you as a child? Not very well at all, but it was the best, actually the only strategy you had. It gave you the faint comfort of feeling that you had some control in the situation, even if you didn't. As an adult, you took that same strategy into your interpersonal relationships, maybe into your work relationships also, and it still didn't work for you. You see, there's a perfect fit between narcissists who are predators and people pleasers who will sacrifice almost anything to try and prevent being attacked all over again. And this leads directly into the question, why is it so important to do the inner work and break free from the habits of people pleasing and appeasing? It's so important because you've been brought up by people whose lack of love, emotional availability and validation left you starved of affection and self-worth. The hunger and lack of emotional defences led you straight into the arms of a narcissistic partner. When you grow up starved of love and affection, like Cinderella, you have to look to a partner to turn your story around and to give you everything that you never had but always wanted. The chances of that happening, sadly, are slim to non-existent. Instead, the rule of the jungle obtains. Predatory people feed off people pleasers in every area of life. So unless you can bear to keep reliving the same circumstances, albeit with different partners, and running on empty, which is such a horrible way to live, you have to change yourself. And at this point, you need to understand that although you may be an empath, being a people pleaser is not who you are, it's just how you do life. You can love people and want to do all you can to help them and still say no when you need to protect yourself. Because you have to ensure that you don't end up running on empty. Instead, you need to put yourself at the centre of your own world. What will happen if you don't work on overcoming this habit, and why now is the time to put yourself first? If you don't, one of two things is going to happen. Either you'll be unceremoniously dumped like a piece of machinery that has stopped working to be replaced by a newer model, and that will be even more humiliating and hurtful than the relationship was, or else you'll reckon better the devil you know and staying is probably the better option, and you will be horribly wrong, because the relationship won't just stay as bad as it is. It won't just be more of the same. Any abusive relationship is governed by the law of diminishing returns, for you at any rate. The longer you stay, the worse it gets. But the worst thing is that you reach a point of knowing that if you don't do it now, you never will. You will never find the strength, and you will literally die of misery. What got me out of my relationship was thinking, I cannot face the thought of being with this man for the rest of my life, being treated with contempt maybe into my 70s and 80s. I cannot face the prospect of never feeling safe and dying without ever having truly lived and loved. So many women tell me that they would dearly love to feel love for once in their lives, and I get that. Finding someone who loves you for you means that you can come home to you. Learning to love yourself is also a precious kind of coming home to you. You lost your sense of who you are and your unique value as a human being in a narcissistic relationship. I understand how huge a loss that is, because I've been there. And I'm here to tell you from both my personal experience and that of my clients that that loss ceases to break your heart once you experience the joy of finding yourself. You'll stop regretting the wasted years when you own what is lovable about yourself and finally experience the love and validation that you need. That can come from a romantic partner or friends, but above all, it can and will come from yourself. You really can have that, even if you think you can't. If you found this video useful, I'm going to go into so much more depth in the upcoming Break Free membership. Just click the link in my bio to join the waitlist. If you found this video useful and know someone who needs to hear this, please share it with them. The next video, coming on Friday, will be about breaking free from generational trauma to ensure that your children do not repeat the old patterns. That's it from me today. If you're new here, please follow my page at Dr. Annie PhD for ongoing insights that you can use into narcissistic abuse. Bye for now.